title of the show is Like Sound Through Water. And the whole show is about my process through grief after the recent passing of my mother. The title came from research. Without having religion in our family, I turned to science, because for my family, that was our church. Through science and research, I found about this channel deep within the ocean that at just the right pressure, just the right temperature, sound travels further than anywhere else on Earth. That's where baleen whales go to communicate with one another, and it became a symbol for me of where I could potentially connect with my ancestors, with my mother. The very first piece that I did, it's titled Echo, and it's a self-portrait where I'm deep down underwater and trying to listen for her. And then the sister piece above it is called Departed, and that one was the very last piece that I did for the show. And there, you can see the transition of grief getting easier through time. That 5 months between the first piece and the last piece, living with grief has gotten easier, and there's a lightness to that piece that isn't in the first one. Like Sound Through Water. With this exhibition, I set myself up for an impossible task, representing the enormity of what remains when someone so important passes, living grief while trying to analyze it, like a scientist or journalist trying to record yet not impact the event. Impossible. Grief is a fog that has altered my perception. It slowed me, physically impeding movement, blurring my vision. It's just vapor. It's just thoughts. It's just so thick. I grew up outside any standard belief system. This gave me both the obligation and freedom to create my own myths for what happens beyond. In our home, science was the closest thing we had to religion, and so to science I turned for comfort, for answers, for structure during what feels like a chasm of chaos. Like sound through water, only the lowest, most soulful frequencies persist. Deep within the ocean, there is a floating channel of water that at just the right pressure and just the right temperature, sound travels further than anywhere else on Earth. In this layer, whose boundaries act as a waveguide, the speed of sound is at its minimum, capable of traveling thousands of miles. Like the songs of baleen whales, I like to think this is where we hear our ancestors call. This is where I will hear her songs once again. In memory of my mother, Dr. Eunice I. Blomquist.